Good morning. Been scrolling again. Dangerous. Yeah, this isn't really a rant. This is a headline. Okay. Traditional garden bedding plants are out. Here's what to replace them with. Obviously, the media may earn a commission from their suggestions. I don't know about you, it really, really irritates me and it doesn't feel true. Because this is basically happening with everything that we're presented with from media. So Gardener's World magazine, all the glossy magazines for gardeners, anything produced to do with nature. If you look, you will see when you purchase through our links, we may earn commission. So what this is big business, big growers being able to afford to give a commission to whoever is, my words, forcing their products on the public. So it's kind of like they're never going to tell you to divide your perennials. They're never going to tell you to grow from seed. They're never going to recommend that you have plants from neighbours and friends because they're not earning a commission. So this is really the whole, I struggle with it, the whole hypocrisy of monetizing nature, monetizing gardening to an extent and degree that is just obscene. And I really, really hate it. So apparently we've all got to ditch the bedding. When I first started gardening, I was dealing with elderly people, clients, gardening clients with ladybirds. And I remember lots of these older people, gardeners, having displays. Mr. Jordan is an example of that. He would order every single year scarlet geraniums, 450 of them, planted in rows in certain beds. That is what he had every single year. He also had over 500 begonias. Prior to the begonias, he used to have the 500 busy lizzies. But then busy lizzies were the first inkling and gave me the first understanding of what we were doing as gardeners in the future. If you think back, you're probably not old enough to remember, all of a sudden, all the growers that I was buying busy lizzies from weren't offering busy lizzies one spring. And what's going on? What's going on? I've got, 3,000 busy lizzies to buy and plant and earn money from. And what had happened is, I think it was a virus. It was one of the first viruses I was aware of globally. So what happened was this virus was particular about its host. It could have been a fungus. You're going to be able to correct me if I'm wrong. Virus or fungus. All the busy lizzies just got this wilting, disastrous disease. So there weren't any. And I got to thinking about that and I thought, it was going up monetary wise for the clients, for me to buy, and it was getting more and more expensive. And, you know, some older people, just because generationally they'd been used to seeing all the parks and seafronts planted in the most magnificent bedding displays. You can't deny the council bedding displays are glorious. They have been glorious, but we have to let them go. So about 10 years ago, I stopped all bedding. I stopped any production. I turned on it in a way that, tell the client we don't do that anymore. They can buy it, and look at the garden centres in our area, they're all stocked to the hilt. Because my understanding was that 99.99% of bedding does nothing for insects, rarely. I mean, now and again they'll come up with something that might attract a few, but you're talking about a very, very expensive annual plant. And I came up with this 10 years ago. I was suggesting, you know, instead of spending all that money on that display, you should be looking at planting permanently with perennials. You can get years out of perennials. You can get free plants because you're dividing. This is definitely the way forward, and this is the way I was going to go. So I did. And then I'm me, as you know me now, which is fine. I do get a bit resentful that someone has decided in 2025, traditional garden bedding plants are out. And then the RHS. I don't want to poke the bear, but I will. The RHS is predicting that many traditional bedding plants may be losing popularity in 2025. So they're giving the impression of prediction that this is something they've come up with. And they're suggesting that this is partly due to cost. Since when have they cared about cost? Since when have they cared about the exorbitant profits, all made abroad? How many UK growers are there that make anything? It's partly cost and partly environmental. So, you know, we all woke up many, many years ago to the fact that most garden centre plants can be sterile. They've just fallen into it, but it's all their idea. So, you know, wherever you are in this, try and keep it that you know how you're gardening and you know what you're doing and you're aware of it. It's no skin off my nose if you go and spend £1,000 a year on bedding. You'll produce a wonderful, beautiful display, and that is wonderful and marvellous. I'd like it if you also just had a few pollinator-friendly perennials in your garden. Even if you grew some nasturtiums, that would be brilliant. I'm not saying you can't have that because it's bad for nature and you can't have this because it's bad for nature. I'm never saying that. Just be aware and don't fall into the traps of, well, the RHS says so, so I've got to do as I'm told. Oh, this newspaper has warned me against this, so I'm warned, I must pay attention. Do what you want. Talk to other gardeners. Talk to me. Don't fall for it. Bye-bye.